Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome to my channel. This time, instead of me having my phone set up on my computer, I finally found my phone holder that could hold the phone, and I can film and do this. Oh, and do this when I'm recording. So, today we're going to be discussing the Salapine Islands history, and just wanted to let you guys know the poll I posted was from last night, and I want you guys to tell me which nations you want to see first for my tour video. Now, let's get into the history of the Salapine Islands, how they came to be, what happened during their time of existence, and which wars were they involved in, and what happened after those wars. So, let's dive in. After De La Cruz and Leon made an alliance, Leon immediately began to build bases on the Salapine Islands. And the reason why they built the bases on the Salapine Islands is because they've always sent troops by boat or plane to Tenyo from the previous wars they have been involved in Tenyo, and it cost a lot of money. So in order to save money and cost and not buy as much materials to ship soldiers, they would have bases on the Salapines to send troops to Tenyo without sending soldiers by boat, and it would take longer and it would be quicker for them to reach there and come back, so they would not spend too much money. But anyway, that's the point. The nation of Tasmania called the MIPR to settle the issue because Tasmania claimed to have discovered them first, which they did, but they didn't physically discover them, which caused Greenland to win the argument from the first case, because they have signed a document and proved their alliance on a document. Tasmania didn't have a document, didn't have any evidence to prove that they were allies, so Greenland was immediately granted permission to own those islands and share the islands with the actual natives. But Tasmania later plans on invading the Salapine Islands and claiming them as their own by taking it away from Greenland. But that resulted with Tasmania losing the first war. If I have covered about this in detail, so later in the video I will show you a video or a link to that video in my description to show you that for you to learn. Anyway, basically that war resulted with Tasmania losing, and the Salapines and Greenlandians won. And the Salapines were the first ones to ever been involved in the war. That was the first time they've ever been involved or had a war on their turf or on their terrain, on their territory. And they proved to be successful. Within the next couple of months, they were once again invaded by Tasmania, because Tasmania was building an empire to try to strengthen its military strength to conquer their islands again during the Second Salapine War, which I haven't covered yet, but we'll get to that pretty soon. But anyway, they tried to conquer the islands again once they had the empire formed, but that resulted with them losing again and the Salapines winning for their success. And the first time that caused them to go to war was a bombing. But in the second one, it was the same exact thing. They were bombed again, except this time 3 soldiers were killed during a bombing, which caused them to declare war on Tasmania the second time. Now, the next war was once again with Tasmania, but was also, they were involved to help Asaja fight against Tasmania, because Tasmania was trying to reconquer Malot during the Boston Tasmanian War. Salapines were involved, along with Greenland, and they were allies with Basaja, so they came to help them. And this was the first war that they had fought beyond their islands, the first war that they had fought in a different country. And they were actually neighbors to Condas, which was their enemy at the time, because Condas were the first ones to send planes to bomb their nations all the time. Their nation twice. So it made simple. And they were the first ones to go over there and help their allies, weaken the enemies, and defeat them. Their bravery, their dedication, and their might and shocked everybody for the first time during that war and proved how strong they are despite the lowest of the low numbers they had. Because every nation during this time period had higher numbers than the Salapines. They were more powerful. They had tanks, they had planes, they had ships, and they had machine guns, bolt action rifles, semi-automatic rifles, grenade launchers, grenades, bazookas. But the Salapines had three weapons: rifles, light machine guns, four grenades, five martial arts, and swords. And they were known to be light soldiers. They were quick on their feet, knew guerrilla tactics, knew the terrain, studied the terrain very well, and were great in combat. But anyway, they were also, before they joined the war, they were neutral, helping Greentopia rest and gain supplies while they were on their way to Pasanja to help Pasanja fight the Marlantians and Northern Marlantians and Tasmanians, because Northern Marlant was under oppression by Tasmania, and Tasmania forced the Northern Marlantians to fight them anyway. They were once again attacked by the planes for the third time from Condust, and this time they were, like I said, fought in a different nation. Anyway, and they were neighbors with that nation. When the war ended, it resulted with the Allies winning. President Leon would later award these soldiers the Greenlandian badge, Medal of Honor, Bravery, and Gratitude, which is described as a purple ribbon with a gold star and a small green star in the middle. This is the this is the fourth most ranking military award that was in the Greenlandian Army. And the Salapines were the first ones to receive an actual military award from Greenland. And even though, despite that they're a different nation and they're a different nation had different weapons, they were still considered as a soldier, and Leon awarded them with a medal for the bravery that they have shown from the first two Salapine Wars and the Boston-Tasmanian War. And once again, they resulted to fight in another war, and this was the Second Green and Tan War. And they have proven more bravery, more dedication, and more sophistication and education that everyone was shocked. Even the enemies, the Tasmanians, they didn't like being messed with the Salapines. Neither did the other new nations that were up against the Salapines, because Salapines were really smart, and they were known as the Pink Commandos or the Pink Crusaders, and these guys were amazing because of the strategy. The weapons that they use compared to any other army is they don't rely on heavy weapons like tanks, planes, boats, heavy machine guns, semi-automatic rifles. They rely on 5 weapons. They rely on bolt action rifles, which are quick and easy to equip. They're lighter and they are easy to carry. Light machine guns, less heavier than a heavy 50 cal machine gun, way lighter, carries 34 rounds of ammunition, and is great to be carried as well through combat. martial arts, trained with special self close combat that they can easily overthrow the enemy no matter what size they are, small, tall, or huge. They would easily defeat them. Swords, which they are used as close combat weapons and good for jungle terrains and forest terrains to clear away brushes. And lastly, grenadiers. They make their own grenades using the materials they have had new that they used for millions of years, for ever since they've been existed. And they don't rely on fast. They rely on fuse grenades, which take no less than 5 seconds to explode, weaken their enemy, and their grenades are made out of clay with balls made out of rock that they would chip from volcanic rock and sharper than glass, make it sharper than glass than the powder they would get from the muskets that they used to have, and use that and to pour it into the grenade. Then they would have a fuse on the top filled with gunpowder, and once they light the fuse, it has a short fuse about that small, and they will put it into the grenade, close it with some leaves, light it, and then throw it, and then they will get to cover. And once it explodes, shatters. Okay, enough about the weapons. Enough about the gratitude. Let's get back to the history. But that's the cool thing about this army. Anyway, when the war was over, they were back to industrializing, making good trade, making good economy from their materials, trading with other nations. This is also, since they haven't been involved in 2 wars that made them fight in different countries twice, they were prepared for future wars by continuing to train their soldiers, and with the help of Greenlandian soldiers occupying their land, they were able to defeat their enemies trying to conquer them. And if they were against another nation, they would know how to counterattack their strategy and also overwhelm their enemy with a small force. Once again, a few months after the last war being involved, they were once again fighting because they needed to put an end to Tasmania's empire, and they have finally defeated Tasmania and its allies completely, hoping that it would be the last, but it wasn't, because soon Tasmania would mobilize its forces again and help the country of Madas fight for its independence. They, along with Greenland, declared neutrality, but were preparing its soldiers just in case of war comes to their doorstep, which it did. And in the middle of the war, they were called to do some special missions, which helped their friends win the few battles till the end of the war, making it a successful victory. And they were once again isolated from future conflicts, which makes them the most #1 commando army in the plastic world. Okay guys, so I just want to say thank you for watching today's video. I know that I mostly rambled a lot in this video, but anyway, thank you for watching. Also, don't forget, the link to the first Salapine War breakdown video is in the description, and I will see you guys sometime after the decision you guys made for my next upcoming video. So don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe, and the more we get subscribers, the closer I will get to 300, or maybe, yeah, the closer we get to 300, the closer we get to 400. So far, a lot of you guys seem to be liking that stuff, so that's great. And if you like me filming from my camera holder, then it would be making my videos a lot easier. So anyway, see you guys later.